Welcome back to Halftime Report on CNBC-TV18. Now let's put the spotlight on IT stocks, right? And this has come in after US has announced a major change to the H-1B visa program, replacing the long-standing random lottery system with a weighted selection process. Rima is joining us now to first give us details on this front. Rima?
So indeed, there is a big change to the H-1B selection process, but the business impact on Indian IT is going to be very, very minimal. So first, let's get to the news. Now, earlier, the H-1B visa selection worked on pure random lottery. So whether you are an entry-level worker or a highly specialized engineer, your chances of getting H-1B visa was the same. But because there were far more applicants or applications for the entry-level workforce, they just got a disproportionately large share of H-1B visa. This, according to the US, was an abuse and resulted in low wage import. So now they're planning to change it. So instead of the random lottery system, they are moving towards a weighted system of selection where the weight will be assigned based on your wages and your skill. It basically means that higher your wage, higher the skill, higher the probability of you getting an H-1B visa. So this is negative news, especially at the entry level. US wants to encourage getting in only specialized workers and use the H-1B quota for them. Now coming to the impact on the Indian IT companies. For the last many years, Indian IT companies have been reducing the dependence on H-1B visa. And this started during the Trump term one, where rejection rates went up, processing, documentation, all of that became very tedious. So as of now, based on the Q2 numbers, when we spoke to the management, TCS said that, about 500 employees traveled on H-1B. Infosys said minority, that's the number. HCL Tech, a few hundred. Wipro said 250 H-1B visas were sponsored over the last 5 years. Tech Mahindra said less than 1% of the global workforce is on H-1B. So the business impact, as I said, on Indian IT companies is very manageable. But at a broad level, this reform is tough on the low-skill, low-pay roles.
Thank you so much, Rima, for joining us with all those details. So let's more on this. We are now joined by Sandeep Gogia, who is the MD and Sector Lead, Tech and Digital at Equirus Capital, to understand the larger impact on the sector and, if any, individual companies as well. Sandeep, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining in. Well, we heard the commentary coming in from IT companies as well. Minimal is a word used by a lot of them, 1%, 2%, not more than that on H-1B visas. What's your take on this change that has come by? And do you think it could impact the industry, if not these big companies, but the mid and small size IT companies a lot?
Hi, good afternoon. So I don't think it will have a kind of a very large kind of impact, and I'll stick to that minimal that you also heard earlier. So look, what will happen is that a lot of these companies will start hiring locally, right, rather than kind of using this route to send people outside. And second, I see a lot of work getting offshored, right? So I think with a mix of these two, I also believe that the impact won't be kind of a meaningful or a material impact on the margins for the whole industry.
All right. Well, Sandeep, in terms of the statistics, TCS only had around 500 H-1B travels in the year gone by. Infosys also said it was a minority. Wipro said over 80% of the US workforce is localized. How much of that trend do you expect would possibly now increase? Does 80% go to 100%? Does 500 go to, say, 100? What are you expecting now in possibly FY27, FY28?
So look, this will reduce further. There is no doubt. And as I said, look, if you look at both the 2 points that I made, A is more work will get offshore, so that reduces the requirement to actually have more H-1B visas. And second is if you hire locally, right, in US, green card holders, citizens, so that further kind of reduces the need, right? So I think both of these put together, overall the industry will kind of start reducing their dependence on this visa.
Okay. Sandeep, do you think specifically when you look at Mphasis, they have said that very minimal, right? And even Persistent has said that they were never dependent on H-1B visas. Do you think that mid-tier IT companies will have an upper hand over large-cap IT companies? Overall impact is minimal, but comparing the large and the mid-cap size then?
So yeah, I don't think it'll have a meaningful impact on either of those two set of organizations, right? Because the mid cap, let's say, is now still about billions of dollars of revenue, right? They're meaningfully large organizations now, and given their scale, I think they have the flexibility to kind of manage this successfully with little or no impact.
So Sandeep, just an industry-wide conversation on that then. Do you think Indian IT companies will invest more in upskilling talent because now it is basis skills, it is not a random system anymore, and that is where most of their expenditure would go?
Absolutely, and that's already happening, right? And then AI, in any case, is a driver, one of the drivers for that, wherein both the mid-tier as well as the top-tier organizations are spending a meaningful amount in terms of upskilling, training their employees to get them up to speed with the new age, the requirement of using and embedding AI in the work that they offer, because the client is expecting some productivity gains and then passing on some of those gains to them, right? So as a result, there is active spend, right, and engagement happening on that side.
How are you placed then, Sandeep, for IT stocks going into FY27, where we would possibly get more structural leads in terms of where the winds are blowing when it comes to the Trump administration as well as AI?
So I think there are green shoots that are emerging. If you look at, let's say, the CY26 or the FY27, right, we see that the banks, which is the BFSI sector, they've already started to open up their wallets in terms of their budgets, and with clarity emerging on the tariff side, gradually, right, even the manufacturing sector is expected to follow suit. So the growth will stay muted, but the expectation is that it will be better than the last couple of years, right? Which both of which have been pretty muted, right?
Okay, better than the last couple of years. So maybe a mid-single-digit growth, I believe, is what one could see coming in, right?
Yes, mid to high single-digit growth.
And also, what is your pecking order in the IT pack, large cap, mid cap? How are you looking at the IT?
So look, the mid cap is obviously they're more nimble-footed and they're more specialized in terms of their offerings. So yeah, I would therefore pick a mid cap over a large cap today.
Okay. Sandeep, last question before we let you go, because the next big talking point has been AI. But the other grouse, I would say, that the industry or the market generally has, that there are not enough AI investments made by IT companies right now versus what we are seeing abroad, be it the US or be it rest of Asia, versus what's happening in India. Do you think this is something which the market will be watching out for, the kind of investments that are being made by these companies into AI, and that could be the next trigger to watch out for in the industry as well?
Yes, I kind of agree, and I see why this has not happened so far is because the adoption of AI on the enterprise side has been limited as compared to the adoption on the retail side of things, right? And there are data privacy concerns, there are hallucination concerns, there are cybersecurity risks involved, right? So as the enterprise clients start adopting that to a higher degree, I see in parallel that will happen right on the IT side of things as well. So both of these have to go hand in hand, right? And then second is the capex that is happening on the AI infrastructure is large, and then that will follow the services cycle, right? The investments on the services side of things, right? So with these two, I believe there is a strong upside that we will see over the next 2 to 3 years, right? With adoption of AI, increasing adoption of AI by enterprise clients.
Okay, all right, Sandeep, we're going to let you go on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and speaking with us and giving us that perspective on the IT space. The stocks are not that perturbed despite the changes which have taken place in terms of the H-1B visa, simply because they have been reducing the amount that they utilize the H-1B visa for in the US. We'll take a short break, but up next, Sudeep Shah of SBI Securities will join in. He has some trading strategies on the other side. Stay tuned.